work session for the Frankfort Board of Commissioners to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Wilder.
Here.
Mr. Hayden.
Here.
Mr. Turner.
Here.
Mr. May. Mayor Brown.
Here. So we 4 to 5. We have quorum. Okay. They welcome everyone here to this work session today. First item on the agenda is citizen comments. Do we have any citizen who would like to come forth and address the commission? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on into old business. Discussion of the proposed garbage fee ordinance. City Manager, I turn over to you.
Well, this is ongoing discussion. We've had numerous discussions about the garbage fee and the new proposed way that we're going to implement collecting the garbage, household garbage from house to house. And Rob Moore has been working on an ordinance. Did you want to say anything about that, Mr. Moore?
The ordinance was prepared, and I believe you all were sent a copy of it. And the way I prepared it was Section 1 did not change. Section 1 is the section that imposed the $5 per month garbage fee. Section 2 merely indicates that the garbage collection fee will not apply to the time period beginning January 1, 2011 and ending on June 30, 2011. And I've indicated that this section is to be applied retroactively so that folks that have prepaid the garbage fee can submit a written request for a refund or make a written request that the prepaid amount be applied to garbage fees due and owing now or in the future. And the reason I said now or in the future is that in the event someone has mistakenly failed to pay it in the past but did prepay it for this time period, then they could request the city to go ahead and apply it to any amount that's owing. So that's what I did. Okay. And then I would think that Mr. Dawson would use this ordinance to then set up a very specific refund process where he would prepare the forms and things like that.
All right, these commissioners have any comments to make? Mr. Wilder.
And just to clarify, if nobody specifically requests a refund, this defaults to a credit on future fees. That's the case. Okay.
Is this a question or you asking?
That was a request for clarification, but I got a nod in the affirmative.
Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
Any other discussion? I would have the first, Commissioner Wilder.
I guess I don't know if this is more appropriate later under old business, but it relates to the garbage fee. Just a question on whether or not we have an update on what our options are in terms of providing tax credits or tax breaks to garbage fee rate payers in relation to charging by volume.
The research that I've done says that we can. If you want me to put together some type of specific proposal, I could do that after you all tell me which way you want to go.
Okay, we'll have the first reading of this ordinance on the 27th. Is that correct? Okay. All right. Any other comments? Always go ahead.
Mayor and Commission, I have a follow-up comment about the future billing. We have contacted the plant board and about the possibility of the plant board billing in the future for either monthly or quarterly or semi-annually, however you decide you'd like to do that. And at first they replied that they would send us a written proposal, but in the past week they have emailed and asked if we would meet with them. So I'm going to ask Mr. Hackbart and and Mr. Dawson and myself to meet with the appropriate staff at the plant board to hash that out.
And this is, you're referring to the future of
In the future,
pay-as-you-throw?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other business?
I've got it.
Go ahead. All right. If you just-
Mr. Wilder.
Just a couple of items still related to the garbage fee. This is just my 2 cents, but as far as those discussions go with the plant board, I think that, you know, in terms of setting parameters for how this might be done, it seems like that would really kind of need to be for what it's worth, a monthly bill. I mean, if we want there to be an incentive for folks to, you know, save money potentially from one month to another, it seems that the bills would need to be broken out into monthly bills, especially, which seems like that wouldn't be too much trouble for them, considering the fact that they already send out monthly bills for us. And in terms of, you know, just trying to figure out what the parameters are for charging by volume, because we can't really make an informed decision until we know exactly what our options are and what everything looks like. In terms of offering a tax credit or a tax break to ratepayers in regards to charging by volume to kind of offset the size of the fee. If we have a choice between the two, I guess I'd kind of like to see a tax credit as opposed to a tax break. I don't know if other people have feelings on that. But either way, I guess I'd like for us to go ahead and give Rob direction to work on that so we can see what it would look like.
And I do have, you know, just thinking about how this was worked and kind of kicking around with some of my partners. For instance, if you say that people who participate in the garbage disposal, I assume it would be residences, if they get a tax credit or a tax break, is that going to be for the entire amount of the monthly fee? Because if the tax break or if the reduction in taxes or the tax credit is the entire amount of the monthly fee, is there really any reason to charge a fee? Because obviously, I think that everyone is going to participate, all the residences are going to participate in the program unless there's a vacant lot.
Sure.
You know, because I know that the city doesn't want to encourage people to say, well, I'm going to avoid the fee, and I'm not going to put trash out, I'll just take my trash to some local commercial establishment and put it in their dumpster. So, you know, is the reduction in taxes or the tax credit going to be equal to the full amount of the fee?
That's, I guess I can clarify some of that. We're obviously talking about charging a variable fee, so not everybody's going to pay the same fee. Folks are going to pay according to how much they throw away. And the reason I would prefer to see a tax credit as opposed to a tax break, I guess here's how I would ideally like to see it done. Well, I guess, and to back up a step further, I think part of the point here is that if we're going to charge enough to actually cover the cost of garbage collection, the fee on average across the board will rise from its current rate a little bit. And we're not trying to use the fee to raise more revenue for the city. We're not trying to do this on top of the taxes we have in place. We're trying to move some of our current revenue from a tax system. We're trying to change the way we fund garbage collection from a tax system to a fee system. That means the fee goes up and taxes go down the same amount. The purpose, obviously, is charging by volume. I'm just going to make some numbers up just for the sake of clean math in an easy example. But let's say and this math is actually pretty close to about right. But let's say we adjust the fee so that it brings in an extra $1 million a year in revenue above what it currently brings in. Currently brings in $600,000. Let's say we adjust the fee so that it brings in $1.6 million. And then we issue tax credits to the tune of $1 million. So that we're not we're not actually raising a burden on anybody. We're raising the fee $1 million, and we're lowering taxes $1 million. As long as the tax credit is flat, then folks still have the incentive to save money by reducing the amount of waste they throw away. So let's say we've got, the reason I would prefer to see a credit as opposed to a tax break is that the credit would inherently be flat. So every residential ratepayer would receive the same, the tax credit would be the same for everybody. Everybody would get a, I'm completely making these numbers up, but everybody would get a, $250 tax credit. And then their average fees would go up $250. These aren't real numbers, I'm just making them up. Now, some folks' fees are going to go up more than that, other folks' fees are going to go up less than that, depending on how much they throw away. But on average, it'll balance out. But the important thing is that the credit be flat, and that's why I prefer to see a credit to a tax break, because a tax break would reduce the, would essentially reduce the percentage of taxes owed, and so people would see different size breaks depending on the PVA value, depending on the value of their property. Since the garbage fee isn't based on property value, so the garbage fee is it's not flat because we're charging by volume, but it's the same for everybody. Everybody pays the same per can. So it doesn't make sense to offset that with something that's affected by PVA values. It makes sense to offset that with something that's also flat, except flat on average across the board. So if we could issue, a tax credit that matches the revenue, that offsets the extra revenue that we bring in with the garbage fee, then everything, then everything would balance out and be a lot more equitable. But you understand how that works in terms of still providing an incentive.
Right, and that's one of my questions is, the ordinance currently provides that if you're in a house that single family, you just pay one garbage fee.
Sure.
But if you have 2 or 3 apartments in there, then you would pay 4 garbage fees.
Mm-hmm.
If each of those entities receives the 45-gallon or 55-gallon container, whatever the size container is going to be, if they limit their